This past summer marked 25 years since I graduated from high school. And I spent a lot of time with some high school buddies, friends, over the summer, and we talked a lot about our high school memories, favorite classes, favorite teachers. And I couldn't help to reminisce about Alphonse D'Angelo, who was my Spanish teacher in 11th and 12th grade. I teach Spanish here at Barlow. And he was a true academic. He was an older gentleman. He had never been married. He attended Boston College. He spoke 4 languages fluently. He could read and write Latin and ancient Greek. And he was a no-nonsense kind of guy. He had high expectations, and he expected us to work hard. He'd tell the story. His parents were immigrants from Italy. And he'd tell the story. He said, my parents were farmers, and they came here. And he said, and we worked hard. And in one generation, my family went from being peasants to white-collared, educated people. And he'd use that example when he'd talk about hard work. He expected that we were good citizens. He modeled being involved in the community. He volunteered. I'm from Southington. He volunteered throughout Southington in his church and in other community organizations. And I remember when Magic Johnson announced that he had AIDS, and he came into the class and he said, look, I apologize. I have to speak English to you today. And he turned the Spanish off. And he said, as you know, Magic Johnson made this announcement. And it was a time, people my age or older might recall, in the 80s and 90s, there's a lot of unknowns about AIDS, and he made it. He educated us to understand the humanity of people that were suffering from that disease, and that it was okay. And he talked about how he volunteered his time in Waterbury at a hospital, where he just went and he sat with people and talked to them and befriended people. He modeled that kind of role in life, the non-academic lessons about how we should behave. And he stayed in touch with us after school. I remember when I graduated from college, my parents threw a big party, and he was there in the backyard. They knew that, I admired him, and they wanted him there. And he came. And when I was in the Peace Corps after college, he was the official translator between community organizations in Southington with whom I was interacting and the people in my village. He organized the donation of certain items to support my projects. And when I told him I wanted to be a Spanish teacher, I remember I was at his house, and he went away, and he came back with a VHS tape of the film El Norte, which is a film I showed to my seniors. And he's like, you need this now more than me. It's your job to teach this. I'm going to retire soon. And he passed that on along with a lot of other wisdom. And when I was engaged, he wanted to meet my wife. He came to my wedding. And most recently, last year, I got involved in my community. I ran for public office. And he was one of my #1 supporters. He wrote letters to the editor, and he shared my information with his circle of elderly friends. That senior vote was critical for me. And I think my most grateful moment was when he was honored in our community as the Unico Gold Medal Award winner. And I was able to go and celebrate with him, celebrate his accomplishment, and congratulate him in person and reciprocate all that support and praise he had given to me throughout my life. I was able to go back and say, hey, I'm proud of you. And as I reflect on his impact, it wasn't that he was a talented linguist or even that he won that gold medal award, but it was that his example of friendship, not just with me and other students, but with anyone he came in contact with, showed that he cared deeply about people. And just this past month, August 2nd, he turned 80. And so I went on the Facebook. It pops up like it's this person's birthday, and I type in a Feliz Cumpleaños. And it's August 2nd, and a couple days later on the 4th, I'm waiting for the like, and I'm going to tell him we're going to get together and have coffee. And I'm at a family picnic, and my phone buzzes. And I usually don't look at my phone during a family picnic, but I opened it up, and it was an email from my town email from the town manager. And it was a police report that said that they had found him. He had passed away. And the police report said that they contacted the primary physician, and that the primary physician wasn't at all surprised because he had a host of medical issues. but no one would know because he would never burden someone with that information. And at first, we weep when we have loss, but it caused me to go into a reflection. I thought about a lot of those stories that I just shared with you and much more. And I thought about how I could honor his legacy as a teacher this year when I go back to my 19th year of teaching. Like, what can I do differently? What can I focus on? Wow. And I hope to really stress the importance of community, the focus on community, whether that be the community of my classroom or the community of this school or maybe the town or family or beyond.